Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of Danganronpa. Last time, oh my god, I still cannot look at Chihiro's body without being so sad. I really like her. Oh, she was the one that I didn't want to die the most. But yeah, I already said my theories. Now it's time to confirm them by looking at the clues that we have in here. Now that I think so, it's pretty much blue's clues, just pink's clues in a very more mature way. There is a dumbbell on the floor and this is a blood stain. There's a blood stain on the dumbbell. The Monokuma file said a blow to the head with a blunt object is what killed her. No, it's not. No, it's from the machine gun that we have outside. I am 100% sure of that. Does that mean this dumbbell was actually the murder weapon?
So.
I don't imagine it could have been anything else. Nuh-uh. Oh well, maybe. I shouldn't be so close. Because maybe that's true? Okay. There's a fresh blood stain on the carpet. It must have been splattered with blood during the murder. The poster's got some blood on it. It must have happened during the murder. The word bloodlust is written on the wall in blood. What's the meaning behind it? Bloodlust. What do you think, Sakura? I use this locker room all the time. Now it's become the site of Chihiro's death. But why was she killed in the locker room? Actually, if you think about it, she could have been killed somewhere else, then carried here. She was very light. That is true. It wouldn't be hard for someone to carry her, but still... Yeah, that adds to my theory. Oh? I still think she came here on her own, by choice. What makes you say that? She's been talking a lot lately about how she wants to get stronger. So you are saying she came here to exercise? But according to the Monokuma file, apparently she was killed around 2 in the morning. Will she really have been exercising that late? Hina or myself are usually in the locker room during the day, so she was probably avoiding it then. Avoiding it? Although we invited her to join us more than once, she never showed up. So I can only assume she was trying to avoid us. And instead she came to exercise in the middle of the night? Perhaps, but it's difficult for me to imagine she will have come alone. She did want to start exercising, but she specifically mentioned she couldn't do it by herself. She needed support from others. So you are saying she could have come here in the middle of the night to train in secret, but that she also would have come with someone else? It's a possibility, I think. Sakura's account. Okay. What do you have to say, Mondo? Dude had a real complex about being weak. You heard Chihiro talk about it, right? I need to get stronger. Yeah, I do remember she said that more than once. Sure did, which I guess explains the trip down here. But did she really need to get stronger that badly? You already mentioned it, but she was a girl after all. Most girls aren't all that strong. See, that's full to my she was a trans girl theory. You're making so many what you call that? You're pointing so much at that concept that she was a girl. Yeah, she was a girl. But she was a trans girl. That's why I maintain my theory of she being a trans girl and someone pushing us. And also Sakura just said she was really lightweight, so I guess it was simple for anyone to just carry her and make her put her card, her male card, against the locker room. Okay, give me a second. I don't know, man. Haven't really thought about that stuff. The cause of Chihiro's complex. I can't help wondering what it might be. Now I believe it's about time for us to move on. Huh? Already?
Nanda.
New clues won't magically appear by sight standing around here. We need to check every aspect of this case. That's true, but I haven't talked to Giri Giri. If you're satisfied, let's hurry up and proceed. He's so pushing. I got caught up with the wrong person this time. I wanted to talk with Giri Giri. She was there. So this is our next location. Huh? This place is related to the investigation? Figure it out for yourself. It's not fun if you don't, right? Yeah. I'm sure the machine gun is killing. Maybe this gun was used to... No, impossible. If that were true, Chihiro will be riddled with holes. Oh! There are a bunch of different pool-related items on the shelf which have nothing to do with the case. Okay, understood. A surveillance camera. Even as Chihiro was being murdered, I bet the mastermind was just sitting there watching. They know what's happened and they're still forcing us to go through this. That's not even the scene of the crime, idiot. For fuck's sakes, just leave me alone. If I remember right, this card reader is meant to work with our handbooks, right?
Nanda.
Do you have any issue with it? If so, you should take it up with Monokuma. He said that, then quickly and sharply clapped his hands together. Has he been domesticated?
So.
It seems that Makoto has a question for you. Sure, what's up? Well, it's just about this card reader. Yes, the card readers have all been designed to interface with each of your e-handbooks. You can only enter the locker room corresponding to the gender list in your individual handbook. See, they're talking too much about gender. I'm right. And it's impossible for two people in a row to go through while the door is unlocked, correct? If there were some sort of erotic terrorists on the prowl, the still-mounting gambling gun will initiate a Swiss cheese slaughter. And the school regulations prohibit anyone from lending someone else their handbook, correct? Correct. So then... that means only girls can go in the girls' locker room, and only boys can go in the boys' locker room. In other words, Chihiro's body being found in the girls' locker room means... Hey Makoto, I can see right through you. See right through me? Allow me to tell you what you are thinking. Since Chihiro was found in the girls' locker room, the killer must have been able to get in there. As such, the killer must be one of the girls. Did I get it right? Good lord, you are simple. But Am I wrong? You should pay closer attention to your relations. The answer has been in front of you the entire time. Loaning your e-handbook to another student is strictly prohibited. Only the act of loaning a handbook is prohibited. Borrowing someone else's is perfectly fine. I would expect nothing less from the prodigal son of the noble Togami family. So that means that not necessarily a girl was the one that did all this stuff to Shihiro, rather than this person maybe stole. So it can also be a guy. I don't know. I'm not sure. So you managed to sniff out the loophole in the regulations. Knowing you, I will bet you created it on purpose, didn't you? To add a little more excitement to things. Yeah, you're treating me like a funny little appetizer instead of the main course that I am. Now then, since the dead can actually talk, they are not people anymore, they are things. Get it? Get it? Get it? Got it? Good. Wait, hold on. You are saying that's a loophole, but in order to borrow something from someone, then that means someone will have to loan it, so, So sleepy. Just listening to you makes me wanna pass out. Be more like Byakuya and get your poop together. Or else I'll charge you with criminal negligence. No more questions. Figure out the rest for your own damn self. Well, I know you are unfortunately lacking in mental faculties, so I'll fill you in myself. Yeah, thank you, Byakuya. Let's head to the main hall. The main hall? That will help you understand what's going on. Card reader has been added to the truth bullets. We came to the main hall. So, what are we looking for here? Does that mean I have to figure out for myself? So about the cameras? Yes, camera, and there's what I can only assume is a gun attached to it. It's a shilling. The hunk of metal blocking the entrance seems like some kind of machine. This is one of the monitors. Yeah, I don't see any clues here. From camera, and some consuming a gun attached to it. It's a shilling case. It's the same. What is this thing? There's a mailbox here. Could there be something inside? Ooh, it's a e-handbook. No, wait. There's 3 of them. But what are they doing here? So, you finally found them. Did you notice we're here, Byakuya? I happened to find them by chance myself the other day. It seems there's a system in place where the handbooks of dead students get delivered to this mailbox. Oh, that changes everything. So then, these 3 handbooks belong to Junko, Leon, and Sayaka. You can go ahead and confirm it yourself. I immediately turned on one of the handbooks, and when I did, Sayaka Maisono. You're right, this is Sayaka's handbook. Now do you understand? This is the key to the loophole that I revealed earlier. Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to get it. You should pay closer attention to the regulations. The answer has been in front of you the entire time. Loaning your e-handbook to another student is strictly prohibited. Only the act of loaning a handbook is prohibited. Borrowing someone else's is perfectly fine. I see. Yeah, now I understand. Main e-half handbooks had been added to the truth bullets.
なんだ
Hold on a second. What's wrong?
妙だな
That's strange. One of the handbooks. Want to run? Is it broken? Whose is it? The other handbook showed Junko's name when I started it up. Then the one who won her must be Leon's, right?
なるほどな
It will make sense, yes. Then I was wrong? Chihiro is not a trans girl? She's a cis girl? And to use Leon's card to force her to open the door? After all, he did get plummeted with dozens and dozens of baseballs. Plummeted with baseballs. The memory of it came floating back. That cruel punishment which led to Leon's death. The execution that the mastermind concocted. A cruel, heartless death. You are right. It wouldn't be surprising for the handbook to break during that kind of assault. Hey, hey! What? That e-handbook is essential to the student life here. Crucial, integral, instrumental, a super big deal. There's no way it will break that easily. But it did. If I said it wouldn't break, it wouldn't freaking break. It can withstand up to 10 tons of pressure and it's waterproof up to 100 meters, okay? I don't care how many baseballs you hit it with, it wouldn't do crap. Oh, but even my amazing handbook does have one single weak point. It does? But it's a secret. I wouldn't want you to go breaking any more handbooks.
なんだ
Then Leon must have broken it somehow without realizing what its weakness was, right? Hard to say. You know what I think? I think his handbook isn't actually broken. But you might ask, how could that be? Leaving the question hanging in the air, Monokuma disappeared. What just happened? Monokuma said it's not broken, but it's an undeniable fact that it's not turning on.
まあいいだろう
Well, I don't see any connection to the case, so it doesn't matter for now. You think so? Either way, something about it still bothers me. Maybe it was hacked? It was hacked by Chihiro? But why? Okay then, this should be enough to get things rolling. Let's begin our investigation in earnest and track down to the true culprit. Yeah, we need to find out who killed Chihiro. To be exact, not quite. Huh? Not quite? What do you mean? What do you mean by that, Byakuya? To be exact, not quite. Certainly, I want to reveal Chihiro's killer, but not precisely. I want to discover the true identity of Genocide Jack. Then, you really think... You truly believe Genocide Jack is the one that killed Chihiro?
何度も言わせるな
Absolutely. I have no doubt that Genocide Jack is the culprit in this case. That murderous fiend is Genocide Jack, right?
なんだ
There's nobody else it could be. A murderous fiend who kills again and again using a bizarre and brutal method. They are like a ghost, attacking suddenly, then slipping away before the police can catch up to them. And what nickname did the internet give to this mysterious serial killer? Genocide Jack. They say he's killed thousands of people, but that's gotta be an urban legend. Still, could one of us really be a demented psychotic killer like that? You are not wrong to wonder. But words mean little right now. I have something that will prove it, and I can show you. Then show me! It's the same again? Oh, and I have a basis to believe that. I assure you, Genocide Jack is one of us. What basis? Is there really proof? There's somewhere I'd like to take you. This will provide all the evidence you need. Evidence that Genocide Jack is the one that killed Chihiro. Evidence? Does something like that really... Ah! Hey, Tutu! Big trouble! Need your help? But it's an emergency! Emergency! Come on, please, you gotta help me! What happened now? Please, this is a serious emergency! Please, you gotta help me! Just calm down, okay, Hina? But it's an emergency! An emergency? What happened? Something's wrong with Doko. She's acting super strange. Well, I mean, she was acting pretty strange earlier, right? What should we do, Byakuya? Since it's Doko, I must admit, I'm intrigued. I suppose we can take a second to see what's going on with her. Are you sure? Don't make me repeat myself. I didn't expect that. I thought for sure he'd just say no, and that'll be the end of it. Okay, come on, hurry! Wait for us, Hina. It looks like she headed to the dorms, to Toko's room most likely. You are right. So? You guys are too slow. I think you are just too fast. So, what's this emergency? Well, after what happened in the girls' locker room, we left Toko in her room so she could lay down. After a while, we came back to check on her, you know? See how she was doing. But when we did, it was weird. She refused to come out and she kept saying all this weird stuff. Weird stuff? You should try talking to her ourselves. Yeah, good idea. I may as well give it a shot. The door swung open slowly and silently. Holy crap! An aura of negativity flowed up from behind the door, forcing a gasp out of me.
いや、朝比奈さんが心配してて、スカさんが閉じこもってるって。
放っておいて。
さ、とりあえず一度ドアを開けてくれない？好
きにさせない。ジェノサイダーショーなんかの好きにはさせない。
And just like that, she slammed the door in my face. What was that? She's been acting like that the whole time. When I rang a little while ago? I'll drive out the killer to drive out the murderous Finn. It doesn't make any sense, right? I was afraid to leave her in there all alone, so I tried to bust down her door. But it felt like something was holding it shut on the other side. I couldn't even budge it. Toko was scared enough to even bar her door? Does she think the same thing as Byakuya? Does she think the serial killer Genocide Jack really murdered Chihiro? Is that why Toko's so scared?
でも
Whatever it is, I'm really worried about her. Isn't there anyone who might be able to persuade her? I think it will be Byakuya. Hey Byakuya, you think you could ask her? To come out of her room, I mean.
まあいいだろう。
Sure, whatever. Huh? You're gonna talk to her, Byakuya? Wow! I guess you can be nice when you want to. Byakuya stood in front of the door, not making a sound, and pressed the doorbell. After a few moments...
放っておいてしつこぐぐぐぐぐジョガミくん
Byakuya?
戸上だ。
ごめんなさい約束守れなかったでも安心してこれ以上はもう私がジェノサイダーショーの好きにはさせないから
And with that, the door slammed shut. Even Byakuya couldn't put it off. There's nothing else we can do. Let's get back to the investigation. Hold on! Hey Byakuya, what was Toko talking about just now? Something about a promise?
なんだ。
Hmm? Oh, I have no idea. Another one of her delusions, I'm sure. But
黙れ。
if I said I don't know, that means I don't know. Just let Hina take care of her. Okay, yeah, okay. I'll stay here and keep an eye on her.
行くぞ。
Well then, let's go. Without waiting for a reply, Byakuya sped away. Byakuya! And I hurried to catch up. Okay, now my theory. I'm still suspicious of Toko. And maybe you will tell me, but Toko is so obvious. It's so obvious that it mustn't be her, because it is so obvious that she is acting weird. But yes, and I will agree with that. But I feel like Toko has multiple personalities, a mental disorder, and one of her personalities is actually Genocide Jack, sorry. And that's why she's saying something like, I can't let him take over. I can let him take control again, because I think she knows that Genocide Jack lives inside her and that she cannot control him. Maybe. I tried to talk to him several times as we walked, but he didn't even look back, let alone say a thing. He just kept on walking towards his destination. Finally, his feet brought him into a stop in front of a certain room. The archive room, finally? The library? Come on, let's go in. Are you finally going to let me in the archive room? If I remember, on the other side of this door is the archive, right? Hurry up and go inside. Oh, here?
行くぞ。
It will all make sense once you are inside. Finally. Wow, there are so many books and files. And so much dust too.
つまり
I will say there's enough value in this place to endure the dust. Okay. What can we check on? This shelf is stuffed tight with files. Without really thinking about it, I picked one at random. Oh, you have sharp eye indeed to select that file. Huh?
そう。
That's the report on a presidential assassination. The original is kept at the National Library. It won't be declassified for another 30 years. Are you sure you want to look at it now? There's no telling whose crosshairs you might wind up for picking at it. Without making a sound, I returned the file to the shelf. And why is something like that in here?
そう。
Yeah. Again?
そう
Huh? It's a desk lamp. Oh yeah, it's the same one I saw Byakuya using in the library before.
なんだ
Do you have a problem with that lamp? It was here before, then I moved it over there. It's too dark over there, so I thought I put it to good use. Well, a coin. There's so many files, stuff on the shelf, what's interesting.
やめろ
Those documents are dangerous. Dangerous? They detail all the people who control the world from behind the scenes. Dangerous truth for a commoner. You mean like members of the Diet or something? No, I mean the ones with real power. The secret council controlling everything from the shadows. If you are ready to be disappeared for it, take a look. There are some very interesting people in there. You are just kidding, right? No, man. I'll just let it go for now. Well, then tell me what the fuck I'm looking for. If you pay attention to your surroundings, you are sure to discover that value for yourself. Thank you, that didn't help at all. There's a ton of thick files stuffed into the bookshelf. If you are thinking of looking through any of them, let me give you a little warning. Those things are filled with graphic, disturbing photos from all kinds of crime scenes. It's the kind of a thing any normal person wouldn't ever want to look at. Be careful. Huh? What do you mean? All those files, there are investigations reports relating to different cold cases. Those are internal documents for police eyes only. They are not the kind of thing you'll expect to leak. Oh? So you're telling me we have all this kind of bunch of stuff? Okay, same. Have a camera here. There's even a surveillance camera here. Okay. There's a wooden box. It's empty. Although judging by the smudges in the dust, it looks like there was something inside. I wonder what it was. There was an extension cord plugged in there. It proved very useful while I was in the library. An extension cord, huh? So, are you finally beginning to understand the true splendor of this library? The entire reason I was interested in the library is because of this room right here. That's why you didn't let me enter? Never?
面白い
It's home to classified government documents, police records, things no ordinary person will ever see. Isn't it magnificent? This can't be for real, right?
不眠ね
That's your guy's problem. Anything that doesn't fit into your preconceived reality, you're living it alive. Well, it's not that. It's just... It's not like I totally refuse to believe it, but... I mean, there's just so much. How could anyone have put all this together? I suppose it goes to show just how much hope speaks through the wheels. Or perhaps... the mastermind may have wanted to provide us with enough entertainment to keep us from getting bored. It's no use. I can't keep up with all this. It's just too unreal. What's wrong? You still can't believe it? What about you? How can you believe it so easily? Things like that are usually impossible.
なんだ
What do you mean usually? Usual? Normal? Ordinary? Simple? Those things don't exist anywhere in the real world. If you don't understand what they actually represent, you don't understand the nature of anything. You don't pull your punches, do you? Besides, what you consider usual is based on your common sense, right? But what makes you think your own common sense applies to me at all? The documents gathered here are genuine. I have reviewed them multiple times, so there is no doubt. Hold on a second. You're saying you have read all these documents and more than once? But all this has to be like top secret, confidential stuff, right? So why... My family has a reading room just like this at our home. Ours is bigger, of course, and not as dusty. Huh? Members of the Togami family have access to any variety of government-related documents. That includes foreign powers as well as domestic. How is that possible?
つまり
I already told you, there is a secret council that controls the world from the shadows. My family is a member of that council. And I have within me the bloodline that will allow me to one day bend the world to my will. But to become such a ruler, I must know all levels of this world backwards and forwards. So whenever I have time, I like to review whatever documents and materials that interest me. Which is why I can proclaim without a doubt that the materials gathered here are the real thing. This is beyond believing or not believing. Byakuya is actually starting to scare me more than the actual mastermind. And what always interested me the most were the cold case police investigation reports. Reading through those reports has always been a hobby of mine, ever since I was little. Nice hobby for a child. It's excellent mental exercise. I have solved more than a few of those cases just by reviewing the reports. And among all those reports, one of my recent favorites is the Genocide Jack case. As he talked, Byakuya grabbed a specific file from the shelf.
そうだ
This is the complete case file. Every single report surrounding the Genocide Jack cases has been compiled in here. Because there are so many, allow me to quickly summarize the main points. To begin, there are two notable characteristics in every Genocide Jack murder. The first characteristic is that at every crime scene the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. And the second is that when the victims are murdered, their bodies are suspended in a certain way. Bloodlust is written in blood and the victim's body is suspended. It's exactly the same as what happened to Shihiro. Save your surprise, the best part is yet to come. For the second characteristic, where the victims are suspended, the only ones who knew about that particular fact were members of the police and other higher-ups. By all accounts, nobody in the media ever found out. Huh? In other words, no one on the news, no one online, nobody knew about that aspect of each crime. Only key officials and the killer himself knew about this act of mounting the victim. Now, if you recall Chihiro's corpse, her body was most certainly mounted in this fashion. Oh please, I don't want to keep looking at Chihiro's body. It makes me sad. So, how could the killer have known about suspending the victim?
そうだ
That's the key question. But in fact, the answer is quite simple.
つまり
The culprit isn't the copycat killer. It's the real Genocide Jack.
つまりだ
That right there is the evidence that Genocide Jack has hidden himself among the rest of us. Then Genocide Jack really is... Such a brutal, fiendish killer really is walking around among us?
面白い
Things are really starting to get interesting, aren't they? I never imagined a killer with such a reputation would ever become part of our little game. Now, don't you think it would be good for you to take a look at what I have already seen? You might just manage to ferret out a clue or two.
いいね
If you get down on your knees and beg, I might even show you myself. Cut the crap, just give me the file. Byakuya, about the Genocide Jack case file. Could you let me see it?
まあいいだろ
Well, you didn't beg, but I guess it's okay this time. Feel free to look at it in here, but you can take it with you. Byakuya handed me the file, and I flipped through it with tense, nervous fingers. Suddenly, my hand stopped. I had reached a page where photos from the scene of each crime had all been collected. Scissors. The names of genocide Jack's victims ran on for several pages. Ken Harada, 32, Tetsuru Honda, 17, Shoji Gaku, 23, Kano Issei, 14, Takeshi Yoshida, 30. Let me read really quick what's in the book. Victim Ken Harada, office worker, 32. The murder took place in the parking lot of the victim's apartment complex. The victim suffered multiple stab wounds across his body, believed to have been inflicted with the same scissors that were later used to attach the victim to the wall. Blood is written the scissors in the body with each murder scene seeming to be the same. The murder took place in Italy. The victim's apartment clause is the same as with the other cases at the scene of the crime. The word bloodlust was written in the victim's blood. The scissors used in the murder were apparently custom made, with every pair left at each murder scene, seeming to be of some material, I don't know, construction. Komatsu Nataro, Takefumi Gono, Uchida Naohisa, Takeshi Masamune, Yuto Yumejima, there was no end to it. But one thing became perfectly clear as I read. All of the killer's countless victims were killed and suspended in exactly the same way. And at the scene of every murder, the word bloodlust was left in the victim's own blood. Now take a look at the next page and you'll find another interesting tidbit. The next page. Profiling results. All of the crimes took place either on weekdays at night or during holidays, either day or night. The most common time for the killings to take place was on holidays in the afternoon. Based on these facts, it could be suggested that the suspect may be a student. Evidence suggests that the suspect lingered at the scene, but when they did leave, they were in a panic. Because an eyewitness has never come forward, it's unlikely there was any external reason for this. This confused behavior suggests, that the suspect may potentially suffer from dissociative identity disorder. The key point here is that the culprit may well have a split personality. A split personality? Like the kind of thing you see on TV? So I'm part of another totally unbelievable story? But this one is way more unbelievable than anything else up till now. Or maybe it really isn't. I don't know. I feel like my mind has gone numb. Okay, Genocide Jack guy's file has been added to 3 bullets. Alright, we should get going soon. Huh? Where are we going? Anywhere but here. We have finished our business here, haven't we? Ah, wait, Byakuya! So, my jury is still kinda up. I'm still not sure if Chihiro was a cis or a trans girl, but I'm pretty sure that Toko was the one that did the murder. Because, well, she's the only one that has displayed any kind of personality disorder or something like that. As usual, Byakuya turned and left without another word. I hurried out of the library to catch up. Well, this is where we part ways. I have some things I need to take care of before the class trial. Huh? Just all of a sudden like that?
お前の相手をしている暇はない。
Come on, enough of your annoying misapprehensions. Did you really think we'll be together the whole time? Take responsibility for yourself and do something useful. Move the investigation forward on your own.
じゃあな。
Well, goodbye. And just like that, he was gone. Just as quickly as he asked me to join him, he cut me off. In the end, I felt like I was just some plaything getting tossed around. At the same time, I uncovered some really important clues thanks to him. Genocide Jack, he's the one that killed Chihiro. And that murderous fiend is one of us. But who is it? I have to find that out, no matter what it takes. And to do that, there's somewhere I have to go investigate one more time. Yes, I have to go back to the crime scene, the girls' locker room. I should check the boys' locker room too. And the others might have come up with some info I might find useful while I am at it. I need to find out everything I can. Yes, I'm liking this. The freedom. Oh, wait, we are already in the second floor. Oh, it's not here, it's over here. Yes. Okay, oh, Hifumi, what are you doing? Ding ding ding! Hifumi has discovered evidence revealing the identity of the culprit.
なんか来た。
Another starting quiz for me. Evidence? What did you find? I cannot reveal that just yet.
そうに決まっている。
But I guarantee that what I found will steal the killer's breath from his lungs. Are you sure about that? Oh, yeah. Miss Ludenberg says she witnessed something worthwhile too. Really? What did she see?
なんだか。
She refused to tell me. It's like when a girl bullies the boy she likes, right? Right? Okay, so where is Celeste now? The warehouse by the dorms. She was there, but at the same time, not there. What's it gonna be? Okay, yeah, but I want to take a look on the body of my dear girl. I could feel the life draining out of my own body. It's a dead body. Chihiro's dead body. But what was used to kill her? I mean, that extension isn't the one that was at the library that Byakuya was telling us about, that it was really useful to him? Hey Kyoko, have you made any progress in your investigation? Generally speaking.
だけど
But I have to get going. I have something unrelated to take care of. Something besides the investigation? What is it?
そう
Nothing you need to worry about. Just concentrate on the murder. But
じゃあ
before I go, let me give you one piece of advice. You should examine Chihiro's body one more time, thoroughly. Also, her handbook is missing. You might want to determine its whereabouts.
じゃあね
That's it. I'll be praying for your success. With that, Kyoko turned and left the girls' locker room. I guess I take another look at the body then. And Chihiro's handbook is missing? That's definitely worth worrying about. Chihiro's handbook. Okay. Kyoko said I should examine the body one more time. I know she said too roughly, but I do have my limits. Well, I'd better give it a shot anyway. Let's see. Chihiro's hands are bound with what it looks like some kind of rope. The rope was used to prop her up in a kind of crucifix position. Huh? The rope has a plug. Yeah, it's the lamp plug that Byakuya told us about in the library, at the archive room. Wait, so then this isn't a rope at all. But the more I think about it, the more that's not the only thing that concerns me. Chihiro's fatal injury was the blow to the head. which means someone struck her in the head in order to kill her. That's right. There's the issue of her being suspended and the fatal blow. At first, I didn't see any reason to think too much about either of them. But seeing them again, after looking through the Genocide Jack file, something's not quite right. What does this all mean? Status of the dead body has been added to the truth bullet sections of your handbook. Well, the one thing most likely to tie all these mysteries together is the true nature of the rope that was used to suspend Shihiro. And to figure that out, there is a certain place I need to revisit and look over again. Plus, it might help to look at the Genocide Jack case file one more time. You know what? I'm starting to think it was Byakuya. I think it was Byakuya. Why? Because, as he said, he has this kind of information in his at his household, and yeah, and he knew how the procedures of Genocide Jack are. Also, I'm linking him more because of the extension, but also, if I remember, when we went with Toko to the library, she wanted to sneak into the library. And maybe at the time she took out the extension with the plot. I think this is definitely between Byakuya and Toko. It's the same. Okay. Sakura, do you have any new thing to say? You're targeting such a helpless thing. It's unforgivable. What a wretched beast to do such a thing. I cannot forgive this. Did I miss anything else? Don't think so. Okay. There's still more I need to check. Okay. Like what? This dumbbell has to be the murder weapon? Are we for sure? It's the blood-stained poster. The blood is the most noteworthy part, but the big breasted swimsuit model is pretty noticeable too. A girl's locker room doesn't seem like the kind of place you'll find something like this. Yeah, I was thinking that too. The same. Yes. I want to go there too. There too. Yes. Also, we need to find Celeste. Oh, and the boys' locker room. Huh? This poster... It's a popular boy band called Tornado. Somehow it doesn't quite seem to fit in the boys' locker room. Oh, but wait, that reminds me. The poster in the other locker room is... That's right, there's definitely something strange about this. In the boys' locker room there is a poster of a popular boy band. In the girls' locker room there is a poster of a big-breast swimsuit model. Could the posters have been switched? Why? Why would... But if they were... Why? What reason will anyone have? Because the killing was done in the male's locker room. That's why it wasn't the machine guy. And it was with the... this... what you call that? This heavy lift thing. The killing was done in the boys' lockers room. I think it was... It was Byakuya? No. No. Maybe... Okay, give me a second. Maybe Chihiro was indeed training and she is indeed a trans girl. And she will come at night, so nobody will discover that she was a trans girl with a male card. So I'm still thinking that maybe Byakuya is the real culprit and killed Chihiro in here and use one of the dead girl's ebooks to open the girl's the girl's room. And I think Byakuya is trying to make us suspect of Toko. Okay. But if we're... Why? What's the reason? What reason will anyone have? Maybe I should talk to someone who knows a little more about the locker rooms. Is there anything else worthwhile? Aha! There's a strange stain on the carpet. What is it? Boys' locker room carpet has been added to truth bullets. Yes, it adds up. Chihiro was killed here, and then... But maybe... No, but then why? Because I'm thinking, okay, Leon's ebook was the one that was damaged, so maybe Leon's handbook was the one that was used to enter the boys' locker room? But why? Oh, maybe Chihiro used Leon's e-handbook to enter the boys' locker room because she didn't want to use her own card, as if it may leave a register or something that she used it to enter in there. And maybe she hacked it? I don't know. But there's a reason why Leon's is the one that is not usable, I think. Okay, so my theory so far is Chihiro was indeed training. I'm still on the theory that Chihiro is a trans girl and she took Leon's ebook from the mailbox to enter the boys' locker room because she didn't want to have the register of her entering there in her own ebook, because well, she is trying to hide her identity as trans, you know. And then no, maybe it is Toko? Okay, because maybe it was Toko. Toko took Leon's. Maybe Chihiro did use her own boy card to enter and training here, and Toko used Leon's ebook to entering here, kill, damage or hurt Chihiro. Then she used her own ebook to enter the girls' locker, yeah, and made all the thing and did the final blow to Chihiro. But when she hurt Chihiro in here, blood was splattered to the poster that is on the background. So that's why she also switched the posters. There was still left in here. She dragged Chihiro to the girls' locker and did all the setup. Okay, those are my theories right now. I'm still not sure if it was Byakuya or if it was Toko, but I'm quite sure it's between both of them. Just need a little bit more of clues, but we will do that in our next session. So for now, thank you guys for accompanying me, and let's see how our investigation goes next time. It's really suspenseful, right? I'm quite pumped up in this game. Okay, thank you guys so much, and we will see you in the next section. Bye!